Welcome to Viewer Suggestions Explained, the show where I explain art suggested by Artsplained fans. Sometimes what you have to say is important, but it's not that important. Remember that. My name is Michelle, and how on earth can one go from being a starving homeless artist to a multimillionaire who is respected around the world? I can assure you that it's a realistic American dream. Let's take a look at one notable example, Jean-Michel Basquiat. Basquiat was a Puerto Rican and Haitian artist based in New York in the 1980s. Despite the many hurdles he had to face, he ended up becoming one of the world's most renowned artists, as well as the highest-grossing American artist at auction. In 2017, one of his untitled works, created in 1982, sold for $110.5 million at Sotheby's in New York. With this, it became the most ever paid for American artwork, as well as the 6th most expensive artwork ever sold at auction. That year, he generated $171.5 million from over 80 works. Because of this, he is undeniably in the leagues of Pablo Picasso and Francis Bacon. His beginnings, though, were fairly modest. He was often rebellious, moving from school to school until he left home at the age of 17. With no money for canvases, he would paint on random items, such as doors, suitcases, and windows. Along with his school friend Al Diaz, he spray painted buildings in downtown New York City with the Samo tag. In the early 1980s, he started making his debut in film as well. He played the lead role in the film New York Beat Movie, also known as Downtown 81. He was also seen in the Blondie music video known as Rapture as a nightclub disc jockey.
Flash is fast, flash is cool, Francois, c'est pas, flash ain't no do, and you don't stop.
At this point, Basquiat began breaking through as a fine artist. In June 1980, he participated in the Times Square Show, a multi-artist exhibition sponsored by Collaborative Project Incorporated and Fashion Moda. It was here that Emilio Mazzoli, an Italian gallerist, saw his works and offered him his first solo show in Modena, Italy in May 1981. After meeting Andy Warhol in a restaurant and selling him a few postcards, Basquiat soon became great friends with him. Hours after meeting Warhol, Basquiat painted Dos Cabezas and sent it to him despite the paint not yet being dry. Warhol is said to have remarked, "Oh, I'm so jealous. He's faster than me." Former interview editor Glenn O'Brien insisted Andy loved Jean-Michel like a son almost. Their friendship ended up being known as the art world's most notorious bromance. So what were the main themes in Basquiat's works? They often focused on wealth versus poverty and other social commentary, especially systems of racism. In one interview, Basquiat said, "Black people are never really portrayed realistically or not even portrayed in modern art enough." He hoped to change that. Basquiat's art style was often described in racist terms like primal or primitive.
And you're seen as some sort of primal expressionism. Is that? I mean,
like an ape?
Well, let's
a primate?
Well, I don't know. Is that?
You said it. I don't. You said it.
Many were also patronizing, believing he didn't know what he was doing. By February 1985, he finally made it big. He appeared on the front cover of the New York Times Magazine in a feature titled "New Art, New Money: The Marketing of an American Artist." One of the most influential shows that personally affected Basquiat was in 1985 when he collaborated with Warhol on several paintings and released them all in a single show. Reviews were very mixed, and some critics complained that his works had become too soft, too slick. Nicholas A. Moufarege described Basquiat's works as fresh out of Warhol's factory, while Vivian Rayner of the New York Times described him as an art world mascot and Warhol's protege as opposed to friend or equal peer. Gradually, Basquiat's drug use began catching up with him. It was in 1988 that he passed away at the age of 27 to a heroin overdose. Since his death, the cost of his artworks have multiplied exponentially in the past few decades. His works have been featured in the Whitney Museum of American Art and have been collected by notable people like David Bowie, Jay-Z, and Mira and Donald Rubel. We hope to do more viewer-suggested videos in the future, so please keep them coming. Remember, your view matters. For the ultimate viewing experience, be sure to watch on multiple devices at once. Peace.